Did you meet Quentin Tarantino?
I did not meet him.
Oh.
I did not meet him.
I wish you had met him.
We've almost met before.
Oh, you have almost met. Where'd you almost meet?
Quentin, I was a PA on a Lisa Marie Presley music video.
Really?
It was called Dirty Laundry. I was like 22, and he was in the music video.
Wow.
And so I was like operating a fan and like trying to avoid doing my job. But I saw him, and so I'm basically one of his muses.
Was it one of those hair fans for Lisa Marie's hair?
Yeah, we had to hold the fan so she would, look beautiful while we were doing it.
So she came up with that before Beyonce, I guess.
She did. I know that's a big point of contention between the two of them.
By the way, I really enjoyed your movie, and I feel like Quentin would enjoy it too. And I know it says right at the beginning of the movie, based on a mostly true story, and I understand. I don't want to say too much, but this is a crazy story.
Yes.
And it really happened to you. And for fear of ruining anything, I'm going to let you tell the story as it appears.
Okay.
In life or on film, however you want to describe it.
Okay. I wish I had a flashlight.
Yeah.
This is a mostly true story based on a lie. And this is the true story of I was flying from the East Coast to the West Coast, and I was on a plane, and a guy sat next to me. And as you do, as one does, we just started talking, and he was around my age, and he was smart, and he was funny, but not hot. And so I was like, okay, well, this is a nice conversation. And we exchanged like Twitter handles. This is like 2015. Became friends. And over the course of a year, became like really close friends. And then about a year in, we started dating. We dated for about 3 months. And I found out that every single thing he had said to me was a lie from the day I met him on the plane. And so it's a mostly true story because the first 2/3 are true, and a la Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, if you're still in the building, we have a sort of revisionist fantasy, horrific twist ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have a number of questions. Now, in the film, Margaret Cho plays your friend, and she's very funny in it. Was she really your friend throughout the situation? Was she the one investigating these lies?
No, Margaret Cho was not on the case. Margaret is a combination of 3 women, one of whom is my best friend who is queer, so among many reasons I picked Margaret. That was great for me. And my mother was actually, like, led the charge. And she's like this New Yorker. She's like, something's not right.
So she didn't believe that he was who he said he was.
She did not. When we were friends, she didn't think about it because we're just friends. But then little things started to kind of set off alarms in her ears. And when we met, he told me he went to Yale, which is like, my cousin went to Yale. My friends went to Yale, like whatever. She was like, something's not right. She called the Yale's registrar's office to confirm if a Dennis Kelly had gone there. And when they said no, that's what like lit a fire under all of us to like,
wow.
Mom does not stop. Yeah.
Yeah, Mom's not messing around.
There were a couple other things, yeah.
The way the lies were presented, though, I have to imagine were very accurate because they were done so well. I mean, this guy, one thing you have to say, he's a really good liar. You'd say, like, yes, my mom has cancer, my mom's sick, we should go, and you say, I want to go visit her, and like, okay, yeah, let's go visit her, and then he kind of makes it like it's a little bit of an imposition, then you start going, no, we don't need to, we can visit her when we come back, and all these things seemed like the kind of things you would believe because who would imagine that anyone would lie much?
That's the whole crux of this sociopathic behavior. Like, who would lie about that? Who would lie about your like, these are basic 101 meet you things. Like, hi, here's where I went to school, what I do, and here's who I am. Most people don't have the wherewithal to lie right up top.
And most people will lie if they know it's maybe a short-term situation, like I'm going to see this person for a half an hour, I'm going to lie, not like we're in a relationship, I've made up everything.
I think he wasn't counting on me being cool and be on the plane, and he was like, oh, she's smart and funny, and I was like, aha, that's how I catch all of them. And start low, you go high. And but we were friends for that year, and I was always like very honest. I'm like, look, I go out with other guys, like we don't have to be friends if that bothers you, makes you uncomfortable. And he was like, no, I'm down. And I was actually on a date with someone, and I posted a picture, and this is Tyler Cameron from The Bachelor is in this, and I posted a picture of that date, and it was in real life. I got a call from him saying, he was crying. He was like, my mom's been diagnosed with cancer. I think he saw that I was on a date with someone he couldn't compete with. And of course, your heart breaks. This is one of your best friends.
Either that or that posting gave his mother cancer.
If I had that kind of power, I would wield it very gently. And so it's one of those things where only in our society, as a woman, do you rethink. You're like, oh, he is an absolute warthog, but he's so sweet and kind. I'll be sexual with him. You never say to a guy like, look, I know she's an armadillo, but if you could just put your mouth on hers, because she's very funny. It's true.
Are you out doing? You're on a tour right now, right?
I'm on tour as we're speaking.
Where are you going next?
I'm going to Alabama.
Oh, you are?
Weekend. Oh, you've heard of it. Good.
Well, don't talk to anyone on the plane.
No, never again. I wear my PPE welding gear and I just face the window.
By the way, will you please thank your husband? He sent burritos. He's got the restaurant Koufax, and they have great burritos and coffee and the whole thing.
We know you're fans, and he came up with that burrito, and I'd like to think it can be a tradition, which means I have to keep coming back.
It is a tradition, yeah.
Okay,
it is
good.
now a tradition.
Good, good.
You and burritos. Well, it's great to see you. The movie, it's called Good on Paper. It's on Netflix right now. Iliza Shlesinger, everybody. Going to Alabama. We'll be back with Lucas Nelson and Promise of the Real.
For the most part, especially as a girl, like, I go on tour and I do my sets and then I go back and eat room service off my bed and watch free HBO. So it's not like sex, drugs, and dudes. There's some dudes. There's not really dudes. There's no sex. But the first gig that I did by myself after I won Last Comic Standing, so I was like 25, my first private gig, non-NBC affiliated and non-club theater, was a private gig. I was hired at a synagogue in Michigan. And they hired me because I had won the show and because I was Jewish, so it was like a 2-for-1 kind of thing. And I didn't know anything about touring or being on the road or tricks of the trade or anything. And so for one night I went and I flew to Michigan, and when I landed, my luggage didn't land with me. Because rookie mistake, I checked a bag for one night. Because up until then, I've been mostly family vacations. And so I'm freaking out because I've got this synagogue gig in like 3 hours. I flew in pajamas. Like, not proper pajamas, but like schlubby, like baggy t-shirt, like a travel bra, which any girl knows is like your soft bra, which doesn't give you any support, and some like really baggy pants, no makeup. So whoever picked me up, I made them take me to like a CVS. I think a cab took me, and I had to rebuy everything, like all my makeup. And then I'm like, what makeup do I have? Because any makeup I had probably been like given to me from the show. And so I bought like this little blush and some mascara, and I put it on as best I could. And I went and I did the gig like while they were having Shabbat dinner. And I probably had 45 minutes of material, but you know, you're not gonna talk about, you're not gonna use the F word in a synagogue. And so all of the material was like, this is pizza, breadsticks, and cheesy bread dipped in marinara sauce. That's pizza, which is a great joke, but not Jewish, you know, not Hebrew specific. And my set, I think I not struggled through it, but was just sitting there like pulling out any references to getting drunk or anything, because again, it was like a synagogue. And at the end they did a question and answer. The questions primarily consisting of, do you know Sarah Silverman? Like that was the big thing. And at the time I had not met her, so I just said no, and then we heard crickets. And so I got back to the hotel, and right as I got back, my